everybody. Thank you for joining episode 2 of Talking Data, brought to you by Xmateria. I'm joined today by Jeppe Thing Sørensen, who is the Data Management Information Solution Architect from Grundfos. Welcome to the episode, Jeppe.
Thank you very much, Michael.
So obviously, we are talking everything data. And for a company like Grundfos, how important is data for you? What kind of opportunities do you see it presents? And also, what challenges, more important, does it pose?
Yeah, I guess that in companies in our size, not that we are a major company, but kind of, the biggest pump manufacturer in the world with 20,000 employees, millions of products, customers and vendors, and so on. Then we, of course, want to be riding on the same wagon as other Industry 4.0 companies and want to jump on the digital transformation and utilize IoT products and so on. It's definitely raised the awareness the latest years on that, it's not only the big data that is important to be able to consume, but also actually to be able to get the context correct. And that, of course, is, the more small data, so our master data and the data that we have in our core systems. Also, this, to be able to fail fast on projects, and that is, even more important now with all these AI opportunities that are spawning from, everywhere, more or less. That being able to test out products and methods, programs and programming languages as well, to actually get the best output also sets a lot of requirements of the access of data as well. And that can sometimes be pretty hard to get from core systems. So also the ability to actually push data to platforms where people can get access. That's also quite high on the agenda right now. And naturally, this also gives us some challenges in how do we actually deliver data, how fast do we need to deliver them, and in what quality are they also needed for all these new projects that are being spawned from more or less the whole organization that wants to also be able to utilize artificial intelligence and maybe some better front end to actually visualize data.
Yeah, excellent. And some of our team have worked with you at Grundfos for probably around about 15 years now. And one of the things that always struggles is that you've always had a dedicated master data team in place. And in some regards, in that way, you've probably been ahead of the competition. What's that team responsible for, and what's its priorities?
The primary areas that our team is covering is, mainly appeared because we have had this team for quite a long time. I have been there for the longest time, but still I wasn't the first. But I have been here for more than 15 years now. And it has been developed from a team that only focused on data quality in the beginning. Then we actually quickly in Grundfos decided that we wanted to go to a single platform. So we only have one ERP system centralized right now, covering the whole world with more than 85 companies, production in 16 countries and many sales companies, but still on the same platform, which of course gives us an advantage in amounts of, having a repository of our data, being able to report in an aligned way and so on. And that is of course something that requires a quite substantial part of data governance as well. So setting the rules for our data is something that we want to have aligned across the organization. So we are also responsible for the data governance framework that Grundfos is running with, where we have 5 data entities assigned with owners, data stewards, and maintenance organization as well. Where we have kind of, the support function for this organization to run. We are also covering quite an extensive part of the life cycle of our data. There are some home developed workflows that we are using, but at the same time, we're also looking at being more proactive instead of only doing data quality report, which is a very reactive method, then actually being able to find out where our biggest issue and then actually put them on workflows. So we do it proactively instead. And, with life cycle, then we're also talking about the end of life as well. So we are also covering a quite extensive part of archiving of data, and that's not only our transactional data; it's actually also master data, because we have a business who is creating quite a lot of products every year. And the area of 250,000 product numbers are being created every year. So of course we need to also be able to move some of them out that was actually never sold. So we have processes both for archiving data, and of course now with GDPR also looking at deletion of data as well, which is kind of an extra step that we have. Yeah. Compliance in general is also something we are doing with, masking of data to our test systems. That's also important for us. And then product data to our customers and so on via product catalogs is also a part of our delivery. So we have an extensive support organization where we are putting a lot of services out to our different stakeholders in the organization, the group functions, the companies, the maintenance organization in general, and also support when specific data mask changes needs to be done. And of course, some of our old core from our department is our ability to do data migrations and the assistance of that. Yeah. So we cover quite many services, and are also a team of 16 dedicated persons right now.
Yeah. Yeah, you mentioned data migration there, and obviously we've worked with you in the past across a number of different implementations, acquisitions, and restructuring projects. How does the team manage that? Because I remember there was a time where you were acquiring businesses faster than you could actually integrate them onto SAP. How do you go about that?
Yeah, well, we had a strategy, many years ago, these 15 years ago, where we actually wanted to merge all our companies into one platform, and we also bought some pretty big other companies that also needed to be in our platform, and that work was pretty much finished in 2012, 2013. Where we, had a kind of a different pace of the migration setup. So in that, meantime, we are still, in Bjerringbro in Denmark, where I'm sitting with the head office. We have still a lot of product development. So here we have a product development factory, primarily speaking, where then whenever we have the products developed and the product line set up perfectly, then we actually investigate where are our future biggest markets, and that is actually where we'll then move the production to. Yeah. And that production move, that's actually a data migration for us. So it's kind of these places now where we are primarily involved, because we didn't have quite as an aggressive purchase strategy here the latest year. We recently bought a company a couple of years back, and that is being migrated as we speak. But we also, have quite a lot of these, new plants or these plant reallocations and so on that is being done. But surely the pace is not nearly the same as it has been. Yeah. Okay. And that's of course also why we engage with companies whenever we need to scale up on the deliveries. Yeah.
Yeah, talking about that, we've just finished a project with you to separate one of your plants in the US. Could you talk us through that in a little bit of detail in terms of the background for that project and also how it went?
Yes, of course. It was a project that we have actually been doing other places as well, where we're trying to create a distribution center for a specific area or a specific country. Before we did that on the Europe side, where we actually have only one company that is controlling all the production and all the distribution centers. So any of the sales companies, they can go to intercompany trade instead. So they actually sell their products directly to the customer, but the products themselves never reach the sales organization. They are delivered directly from the distribution centers. And that is also what our project was about in the USA when we had our plant split project here. And I would say that this is normally a project where you need to be very careful because there is a lot of processes that is running. You need to hold a very strict deadline. And the data definitely needs to fit the new organization. Else we can experience, customer dissatisfaction because they do not get their products at the same time. We risk, re-invoicing because of either too late deliveries or the cost hasn't been balanced in the right time and so on. And that is of course something that we really do not want to experience. And the engagement with Xmateria was definitely helping us getting through in the very, very short timeline we got. And I guess that is, it's quite normal for migration projects in general, is that we are always getting onboarded too late. We would actually prefer, if it was possible, to go out to the company 3 months before the project's even starting. But most times we are only onboarded 3 months after it has been started. And that's, that's where it's really nice to be able to engage with some persons who can, really, understand the issues that we have, being able to ask the right questions, being able to utilize the documentation and the methods we are doing in Grundfos and so on pretty fast, and then actually being able to help us get through that task in a very short time with some dedicated people, and then go live with everybody's satisfaction and a quality level that is at the same level as our other plants is running, that has been running for a long time. So that was quite a good experience, and we had a lot of happy faces, and we collect happy faces when doing migrations, and that's really nice. And I think that we definitely also got some good learnings out of it.
Yeah, I agree. Also, that was a great project. We really enjoyed it. So we were pleased to be able to help you guys. I think that's us out of time. But thank you very much for joining the talk today, and thanks everyone for joining. And look out for future episodes in the future. Thank you.
Always a pleasure.